Okay, if I'm fixing PvP. Okay, let's do. You have to think about it overall. So after these other changes, rogues will have to be and mages will have to be worse. But let me first. Shadow Priests need to be killable. There's no point to have an unkillable class in Arena. So I think the 20% damage reduction, whatever they must get from that shit, it should probably be like 10. Whatever the fuck they get, it should be less. Then Warlocks should have 10% more damage reduction. And maybe Death Knights, 10% damage reduction on Death Knights and Warlocks. Don't have to change anything else about them. For Destro, class is actually fine. For Affliction, you got to get rid of the drain life bullshit. That stupid one-shot thing, because it's not really a fun mechanic to play or play against. Nobody likes it. Because if you're the Warlock, you feel like you can only win on the gimmick. If you're against the Warlock, you're like annoyed that you can only lose to the gimmick, and like, I don't know, it's annoying. So they have to just give them more overall pressure somehow, and take away. God damn, I keep zoning here. Take away the drain life thingy. Okay, so then give Warlocks, Death Knights a little damage reduction. Don't give them this new ability that lets them mass the spell. It's fucking stupid. Give Shadow Priest less damage reduction. Moonkins are also too tanky. I don't really know exactly how they work, but for some reason they're too tanky. Make them a little less tanky. Okay. Then after we've nerfed all the defensive abilities of those classes, the Rogue and Mage damage needs to go down significantly. And less of the damage should be in the dots and Rupture and Garrote, and more of the damage should be in active damage, like Mutilate and Envenom. So you actually have to be attacking somebody to be smorking them. Because you shouldn't have a Rogue and a Cyclone, and you're playing against Shadow Priest Rogue, and you're just dying and have to Ice Block or something because you have Garrote and Rupture on you and Shadow Priest does. It just feels stupid. It doesn't feel like interactive. So make the Rogue damage more active. Make Fire Mages have to cast a little bit more somehow. Take a little of their instant damage away and a little more casted damage. They probably already try to do that because they probably try to buff Fireball and they have the right mindset. But you have 3 Fire Blasts that aren't on GCD, and you have instant Pyros, and you have Meteor hits too hard still. And yeah, whatever. Anyway, all that shit, they actually kind of tried on that already. But you can't nerf Rogues and Mages more right now unless you nerf the defensives of Shadow Priests and Moonkins, because otherwise you won't kill anything. But all that shit is broken. Now, you fix all that shit. Shadow Priest, Moonkin, Rogue, Mage. And Shadow Priest, Moonkin, Rogue, Mage. You fix all that shit and you buff a little bit buff on Warlocks, Death Knights, and Windwalker Monks. A little under defensive. Maybe they all take 10% less damage. Because other classes have like passive damage reduction. And then I think everything else kind of falls into place. Because all of a sudden I think the other classes can kind of play the game. Because the really OP stuff got nerfed. The really underpowered stuff got buffed. And then the classes in the middle are probably like doing okay. That's the best I can think from my experience playing so far. Enhanced Shamans actually do too much damage too. They nerfed that a little bit. Too much damage. Oh, and yeah, and remove the mana burn. Yeah. After you do all that, remove the fucking Demon Hunter mana burn. Losing on mana is stupid. Shouldn't lose on mana. And then rest of Druids need to spend less mana in Arena, I realized today. And Priests running out of mana in Arena, maybe that's okay because Rogue Mage Priest is so good at living and setting up over and over. Maybe you need Priests to run out of mana in Arena. Because like right now I play Rogue Mage Priest and we fucking own, even though my Priest runs out of mana, right? Maybe with the Rogue Mage damage down, you would need Priest to not run out of mana. I don't know. How many DKs have I seen in Arena? 1? Yeah, just Black Jeff, I think. But if Warlocks were better, then all of a sudden DKs are better too. They just go together really well. And Warlocks aren't that good either. So what's actually going to happen is Blizzard's going to overbuff Warlocks and Death Knights, and then it's just going to be a bunch of people getting rotted and being sad. They're all dying at the same time, and it's unhealable. Stuff like that, you know? Because that's just how Blizzard does things. I hope they don't do it like that this time, because they probably have a lot of feedback from a lot of people who know better than they do. And maybe they could just listen to the feedback and be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Let's not overbuff this because it's a little underpowered, and let's nerf stuff and buff a little bit instead. You know? What about monks? I said Windwalker monks should have like 10% damage reduction or something. After they nerf the damage of all the high classes, then actually they'll probably live. Then they could, once you're taking less damage, then you get time to use your kiting capabilities. You know, because if you just die in the stun, then you don't get the port, for example. But if you don't die in the stun, then like suddenly you can be a live lord. Halinka is back. He will save us, Kappa. Maybe. Blizzard listening to the community GL. Yeah, probably not. But God, it would be fucking nice. They could actually make the game so good. It probably won't happen. Okay, I have higher hopes for next expansion. They just randomly make it good by accident. Like every expansion, there's a chance that what they set up for PvE just happens to be good and like fun for PvP. If you get lucky, you know, and maybe it'll just randomly be good. Yeah, a lot of the classes do. This guy's right. Do too much damage without being active. Like Shadow Word Pain shouldn't be most of a Shadow Priest damage. It should be like VT that he has to cast, or like a Mind Blast should hit hard or something. You know, like the damage shouldn't be in my Garrote and Rupture. It's just stupid. Like I can leave an arena and have done the most damage, but have been CC'd almost the whole time. If I just kept up Garrote and Rupture on two targets, I'll have the highest damage in most of the arenas. Next expansion is always the savior, lol. Yeah, but they'll never get it right. They'll never get it right, dude. There is no hope for us. But if the thing about going to play another game, let's say there's another game with good PvP. Let's say there's an MMO that exists right now with good PvP. We would never even bother trying the game because we don't have friends who play it. So the only way it would happen is if everybody quit this game and played that game. But not everyone would like whatever that PvP is necessarily. Because it wouldn't be, let's say, a mage might not have the same PvP experience in the game you switch to as a rogue would. Maybe it'd be a good game to be like roguey, but not magey or something. So then not everyone would quit. Battlerite has great arena, but people won't play that in mass. Yeah, I heard Battlerite's pretty cool, and I've tried it, and it seems cool, but for some reason I don't get addicted. I play it, and I'm like, this seems cool, and then I log off after 2 games. I don't even know why. It's strange. There's just no hype to it. Like, I don't really care if I win or lose because my other people I know aren't playing it, so there's nobody to compare myself to, which is actually important in games and why they do rating ladders, because people like to compare themselves to each other and do better than their friends. People love doing better than their friends. By like making people in competition, like if you start a fucking competition with your friend to see who will do more push-ups, suddenly you'll both do more push-ups than you would have done if you weren't in a competition, you know? So Reckful, you don't play any game, really? Yeah, I don't play many games. I don't actually... There's probably a lot of games out there that are good. I just don't try them.